Hey coin collectors, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the world of worn out wheat pennies. Yes, those scratched, corroded, and barely legible pennies that still hold surprising value despite their rough condition. We'll be counting down the top 10 bad condition wheat pennies that are still worth something. 1924 wheat penny. The 1924 wheat penny, part of the Lincoln cent series, was minted during a time when America was recovering from World War I and heading toward the Roaring Twenties. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, this coin features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, making it one of the most iconic designs in U.S. The coinage history. The wheat penny gets its name from the reverse tails design, which displays two wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design was used from 1909 to 1958. Now, 1924 wasn't a year with any particular economic crisis, but it's important to note that mintages were lower that year compared to some other years in the series, which can affect the coin's rarity and value. Let's break that down in more detail. The 1924 wheat penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Let's take a look at their mintages. The Philadelphia Mint, which had no mint mark, produced the most, with over 75 million pennies. The Denver Mint, marked by a D, struck just over 2.5 million pennies, making it far rarer. And finally, the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, produced around 11.5 million pennies. These lower mintage numbers for Denver and San Francisco coins are a key factor in determining their value today. All right, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for: the value of the 1924 wheat penny. Like most coins, the value largely depends on its condition or grade. Let's break it down. Good condition G4. In this condition, the penny will show significant wear, but Lincoln's features in the wheat stalks are still visible. Expect a price of around $0.25 to $1 for the Philadelphia Mint, while the Denver Mint version could go for $20 to $40. Here, Lincoln's features are sharper and the wheat stalks are more defined. A Philadelphia penny could fetch around $1 to $5, while the Denver Mint penny rises to $50 to $100. In this condition, the coin is only slightly worn, with all details crisp and clear. A Philadelphia penny could sell for $10 to $15, and a Denver penny can reach $200 or more. If you have an uncirculated 1924 penny, especially from Denver or San Francisco, you're looking at a significant value increase. Denver pennies in this grade can go for upwards of $1,000, and even Philadelphia pennies could fetch between $50 to $200 depending on the quality. 1935 bad condition wheat penny. The 1935 wheat penny is a part of the Lincoln wheat cent series, which was minted from 1909 to 1958. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, the coin features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, with 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent on the reverse. This design was created to symbolize America's agricultural strength and values. In 1935, America was still recovering from the Great Depression, and these pennies were part of everyday transactions. Over 245 million of these pennies were minted that year at the Philadelphia Mint, which means they aren't considered super rare. But their historical significance makes them a favorite for many collectors. Now, the value of any coin depends heavily on its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with factors like luster, scratches, and how much of the design is visible playing a major role in the final grade. For a 1935 wheat penny in bad condition, meaning it's heavily worn, with details on Lincoln's face and the wheat stalks faded, the value is significantly lower than one in better shape. So how much can you expect it to be worth? A 1935 wheat penny in poor or bad condition is generally valued at around 3 to 10 cents. Yes, you heard that right, just a few cents, because millions of these coins were produced. Only those in very high grades hold significant value. However, if you're just starting your coin collection, it's still a piece of history that you can own without breaking the bank. But don't let that discourage you. Finding a wheat penny, no matter the condition, is still exciting, especially considering it's nearly 90 years old. Plus, if you have a 1935 penny in higher condition, you could be looking at values upwards of $1 to $5. Even if your 1935 penny is in rough shape, preserving it the right way can help maintain its value. Always handle your coins with care, preferably with gloves, to avoid adding any more scratches or fingerprints. Store them in coin holders or albums to protect them from further damage. 1918 bad condition wheat penny. The 1918 wheat penny, also known as a Lincoln cent, was produced during an important time in U.S. history. The world was in the final stages of World War I, and the United States Mint was working hard to keep up with the demands of a booming economy. The coin's design features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, which was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. On the reverse, we have the iconic wheat ears representing prosperity and growth, and this design remained on the penny until 1958. In 1918, the U.S. Mint produced over 288 million of these pennies. That's a huge number, and they were struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your penny has no mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia. If there's a small D below the date, it's from the Denver Mint. A small S indicates it was made in San Francisco. Now, let's talk about coin condition. As with most coins, the value of a 1918 wheat penny depends largely on its condition. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition can fetch higher prices. However, since we're focusing on a bad condition coin today, what can you expect? If your 1918 wheat penny is heavily worn, has scratches, or other forms of damage, it's considered to be in poor or about good condition. In this state, the value will drop significantly compared to one in better condition. But don't worry, it still holds some value due to its age and historical importance. Let's break down the value. If your 1918 wheat penny is in bad condition, here's a rough estimate of its worth. Philadelphia no mint mark, usually around 10 to 30 cents. Denver D mint mark between 20 to 50 cents. San Francisco S mint mark generally 30 to 75 cents. Remember, these values are based on coins in poor condition. If your penny has severe damage or corrosion, the value could be on the lower end of this range. Although the monetary value of a 1918 wheat penny in bad condition might not be much, the historical significance is where it really shines. Holding one of these coins connects you to a pivotal time in American and world history. This penny circulated during the final year of World War I, through the Roaring '20s and into the Great Depression. 1917 bad condition wheat penny. The Lincoln wheat penny was introduced in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner as a way to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a president on the obverse. By 1917, America was deeply involved in World War I, and pennies like this were a common sight in circulation. This year is significant because it marks the second year that the mint transitioned from the earlier matte-proof style to regular production coins. 3 mints produced the 1917 Lincoln wheat penny, Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver D mint mark, and San Francisco S mint mark. Each penny from these mints carries a slightly different value today, especially when factoring in condition and rarity. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the front or obverse, we have the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, with the words "In God we trust" above his head. To the left is liberty, and to the right you'll see the year 1917. The reverse or back of the coin features 2 wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America. This wheat ear's design symbolizes prosperity, which was a key theme during its introduction. Now let's talk about condition. If you found a 1917 Lincoln wheat penny in bad condition, what exactly does that mean in terms of grading? In coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins in good condition G4 will show heavy wear, but the major details will still be visible. If your penny is in fair condition AG3, the details will be very worn down, and in poor condition P1, it's likely just a faint outline of its original design. In bad condition, even if most details are worn, the coin can still hold some value, especially if it's a rare mint mark like Denver or San Francisco. 1935 D bad condition wheat penny. Why is 1935 D important? In 1935, the Denver Mint produced around 47 million Lincoln wheat pennies, which was relatively low compared to other years. While this isn't an extremely rare coin, there are specific factors that can make certain 1935 D pennies quite valuable. Let's talk about the design and key features. On the front or obverse, you'll see President Lincoln's profile, while the reverse displays the iconic wheat ears. Now, while most 1935 D pennies look the same, collectors hunt for certain varieties, especially ones with minting errors. Watch out for these errors. Some common errors include double die obverse, where Lincoln's image or the date appears slightly doubled, and off-center strikes. Coins with these types of errors can bring in a premium price at auction. Now, on to what you've been waiting for, the value. Like all coins, the condition plays a huge role in determining how much it's worth. A typical 1935 D penny in circulated condition might only fetch a few cents, maybe 10 to 50 cents. But if you have a penny in uncirculated or mint state, the value can jump significantly. How much is your penny worth? For example, an uncirculated 1935 D wheat penny can be worth anywhere from $5 to $50 depending on its grade. And if you're lucky enough to own a high-grade penny graded MS65 or above, it could be worth over $100. To get an accurate value, it's important to have your coin professionally graded. The Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from poor P1 to mint state MS70, helps determine a coin's exact condition and value. 1958 bad condition wheat penny. Now, you might be thinking it's just an old, worn-out penny, right? Well, not so fast. Even coins that look rough can hold some surprising value, and today we'll walk you through the history, features, and potential value of a 1958 wheat penny in bad condition. First, let's go back in time. The Lincoln wheat penny, also known as the Wheatie, was minted from 1909 to 1958. The coin was designed by Victor D. Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The front of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse shows 2 wheat ears, giving it its name. Now, 1958 marks the final year of the Lincoln wheat penny series before the design switched to the Lincoln Memorial penny in 1959. So it's the end of an era for this coin. So what happens when your 1958 wheat penny is in bad condition? Maybe it's worn, scratched, or even discolored from years of circulation. How does that impact its value? The condition of a coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A bad condition penny like this one might fall into the good to very good category, where significant wear is visible. But even in this state, it still holds value. Let's talk numbers. A well-worn 1958 Lincoln wheat penny, like this one, typically isn't going to make you rich. In circulated bad condition, these pennies are generally worth around 3 to 10 cents, which is still more than face value. However, if you happen to find one in pristine condition, like an uncirculated or mint state 1958 wheat penny, its value could shoot up to $20 or more, depending on the market. But before you go dismissing your old pennies, here's a tip. There are a few things to keep an eye out for, even in a bad condition coin. 1952_D bad condition wheat penny. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, also known as the Lincoln Cent, was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. These pennies were minted for circulation until 1958, when the design changed to Lincoln Memorial Cent. Now, what makes the 1952D unique? The D stands for the Denver Mint, which produced over 746 million of these pennies in 1952. While not extremely rare due to the high mintage, this particular year has piqued the interest of collectors, especially when it comes to condition and errors. Errors are what can make an ordinary penny far more valuable. In the case of the 1952D Lincoln Wheat Penny, some known errors include double die averse, where the design is stamped twice, off-center strikes, and filled mint marks, sometimes called bad wheat pennies, because they look imperfect. These imperfections, however, can turn a penny worth only a few cents into a coin worth several $100s, depending on the condition and the error type. If you're lucky enough to find one of these error coins in your collection, hold on to it. It could be worth a lot more than you think. Condition is key when it comes to determining a coin's value. Pennies that have been in circulation for decades will typically show wear and tear, reducing their value, but a 1952D Lincoln Wheat Penny in uncirculated or near perfect condition can fetch a pretty penny on the market. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating better condition. For example, a heavily circulated 1952D penny might be worth just a few cents, but an uncirculated version graded at MS65 or higher could be valued at $10 to $50. If it has an error, the value can increase even more. So, what's the value of a typical 1952D Lincoln Wheat Penny today? For circulated pennies in average condition, you're looking at a value of around 3 to 10 cents. However, if your penny is in higher grades, such as MS65, expect it to be worth up to $10 or more. Error coins, however, are the real game changers. A 1952D Lincoln Wheat Penny with a clear double die error or an off-center strike can be valued anywhere from $50 to over $200, depending on rarity and demand. 1946D bad condition wheat penny. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, created to honor President Abraham Lincoln. By 1946, the country was recovering from World War II, and the penny underwent some design changes. The 1946D penny, minted in Denver, was one of the first to be produced after the war, featuring the familiar wheat ears on the reverse side. This design remained in circulation until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The 1946D penny is part of the wheat series, which has a dedicated following among collectors. Now let's talk about value. The worth of the 1946D penny can vary significantly based on its condition. In good condition, you might find it valued around 2 to 5 cents, while those in better grades can fetch anywhere from 15 to 50 cents. But what if you have a penny in bad condition like this one? Coins that are heavily worn or have significant damage typically see a drop in value. However, even in bad condition, the 1946D penny can still be worth about 1 to 3 cents. Keep in mind, the demand for these coins among collectors remains strong, so even a penny that's seen better days can still hold sentimental value. If you're looking to start or expand your collection, here are a few tips. First, check for key indicators of the coin's condition. Look for visible details like the date, the demint mark, and the wheat ears on the reverse. Even a penny in bad condition can be interesting if it has unique characteristics or historical significance. Consider keeping a record of your coins and their condition, as this can help you track their value over time. Joining a local coin club or an online community can also provide you with valuable insights and resources. 1944 bad condition wheat penny. The 1944 wheat penny was struck during a time when copper was in high demand for the war effort during World War II. In fact, during this year, the U.S. Mint produced 3 different types of pennies: copper, steel, and zinc coated. But here's where it gets interesting. The bad 1944 wheat penny refers to those made of steel instead of the typical copper composition. This is especially notable since steel pennies were only produced in 1943 due to the copper shortage. So how can you identify a bad 1944 wheat penny? Look for these key features. Weight: a regular copper penny weighs 2.5 grams, while a steel penny will weigh slightly less due to the different metal. Color: the copper penny has a reddish-brown color, whereas the steel penny appears gray or silver. Magnetic test: steel pennies are magnetic while copper ones are not. If a magnet sticks to your penny, you might have a steel one. Now let's talk about value. A typical 1944 wheat penny in good condition can be worth anywhere from 10 cents to a few dollars. However, the bad steel version, particularly if it's in uncirculated condition, can fetch a much higher price, up to several $100s. It's crucial to have your coins appraised by a professional to determine their actual worth. Collecting wheat pennies can be both exciting and rewarding. The 1944 bad wheat penny is a fascinating piece for any collector. It represents a unique moment in American history and coinage. 1945 D bad condition wheat penny. Here we have the 1945 D Lincoln wheat penny. At first glance, it might look like just another penny, but there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. The Lincoln penny was first minted in 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner. Fast forward to 1945. The United States was in the aftermath of World War II. This period was marked by significant economic changes, and coins were in high demand for circulation. Now, let's talk about value. The 1945 D Lincoln penny, when found in average circulated condition, is typically worth about 5 to 10 cents. However, if you have one in better condition, say uncirculated, it can be valued anywhere from $1 to $3. And if you're lucky enough to find a coin with a high-grade condition, it could fetch even more. When evaluating the condition of your penny, look for signs of wear. A coin in bad condition might show significant scratches, discoloration, or other damage. Remember, the better the condition, the higher the value. If you're a collector, it's always a good idea to store your coins properly. Using a coin flip or holder will help protect them from further wear and tear, preserving their value for years to come. So there you have it. The 1945 D Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a piece of change. It's a small window into America's past and a potential treasure for collectors. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin value insights.